Hi everyone, welcome to the live stream. I haven't been on Amazon Live in a while, so I thought I would pop in over here and show you a little bit of what I've been doing over on YouTube. I've been doing lots of demonstrations and working with acrylic paint and stuff like that. So let's do that today. I'm going to go to the overhead camera so you can see what I'm working with. And let's see, back in the day, Amazon didn't like that. So I don't know if they'll kick me off the live stream or not, but let's see. So we'll go to the overhead camera. Right here, I have let me come out a little bit. Right here, I have a 8 by 10 canvas panel. I'm going to highlight that. At least I think I am. There it is. Okay, I'm going to highlight that in your carousel. And these are really handy. You can get a nice pack of these to paint on, and you can get lots of painting done. So also in your carousel is this amazing silicone pad. Now these are actually used for baking. Um, the thing about that is when you're painting, and I paint on the tabletop a lot, when you're painting, if you go through palette paper or paper plates or whatever, it's really wasteful. So this silicone pad that's meant for baking, like rolling out pastry, is super, super cool to use as a palette. And I'll show you why. Check this out. This is silicone. And let me highlight it in the dooba-dooba-doo, where'd I put it? There it is, thick silicone countertop. It's $8.99. This has saved me so much money. The super kitchen. So what happens is when you put paint out, let's put out some paint. We're going to paint, so let's put some paint out. When you put paint out on the silicone, it doesn't stick to the silicone. So when you're finished, you can just wipe it up with a tissue or a paper towel. And then I will also wet it down a little bit and scrape up whatever's left with my palette knife. But I have been painting, I have probably done 50 paintings on this. And look at that. It has no paint on it. So it's a really, really good ecological way to work with painting. And then I roll it up and take it with me if I'm traveling. So simple. And for the price of one pad of palette paper, you've got this reusable. It's pretty big too. It's pretty big. So let's do a little painting. In your carousel, you've got this fluid set. Let me pull it out. Where did I put it? Here it is. You've got this fluid set in your carousel, and it's got 10 colors in it, but I usually only use 3. And if you go over to my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've got tons and tons of videos over there just using 3 colors. But we're going to do a little painting today. Did I highlight this? Yeah. This is going to last you a long time. Um, the fluid paint, the golden fluid paint, has a lot of pigment in it. So it's going to last you a very long time. So let's do this. Let's paint a little painting. Pretty straightforward, nothing too fancy. You can do these at home in like 20 minutes. It's not going to take forever. I've got some paper towels here. Let's get in your carousel. You've got the Princeton brush that I'm about to use. This is the Princeton number 12, I think. The 12? Yeah, I like it because it covers a lot of ground. So I've got my yellow from that fluid mixing set. I've got some titanium white. You can never have too much titanium white. And I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and a little bit of titanium white, and I'm just going to lay that down. No water on my brush, you all. Don't put any water in your paint, in your acrylic paint. Don't do that. It's not good for the paint. You don't need it. If you get into a situation, I'm here in Southern California, and you need something to keep your paint wet, pick this up. I don't think it's in the carousel, but you can find it easily. Um, a golden gloss glazing liquid. This will help to keep your paint workable for a long time. So let's do some sky here. I'm going to put a little bit more yellow down and just blend it back and forth with your brush. A little more white. And just blend it right on the canvas. You really don't want things to have just a flat color. So just blend those right on the canvas. And oh, I forgot to put Coin Magenta out. Let's put out some Coin Magenta. And let's also put out some Phthalo Blue. These are the only three colors I use. I didn't put out much of the Phthalo Blue because it is so strong. So I'm going to wipe my brush and grab a little tiny bit of Coin Magenta. It's very strong. Just going to lay that down right there. Grab some titanium white. So you can have kind of a rosy sunset, you know. There we go. Just blend that up into the yellow. Let's have a tiny bit more of that Coin Magenta. And I just keep coming back to that titanium white and putting it right down. Blend it right up. Just keep blending. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have any questions, also make sure to let me know because I'm an acrylics expert. I'm an acrylic painting expert. And I've been teaching and painting for like 40 years. Don't tell anybody. I've been doing this a long time. So we've got this, so ask me questions. I'm here to answer your questions. So we've got this kind of rosy sunset going. And now let's have an ocean. Let's do an ocean, okay? I'm gonna wipe my brush. I'm not putting it in the water. I'm gonna wipe my brush and let's pick up some phthalo blue and a lot of titanium white because that is a very strong color. And there's a little bit of yellow on my brush already, but I'm going to pick up a little bit more because I want my water to be kind of turquoisey. So just a tiny hint of that yellow. Okay, let's just lay that down. Super easy. Like I said, these don't take very long, you know. Come back into that titanium white. I'm going to need more here in a minute. Lay that down. Going through the titanium white like crazy over here. Okay. All right, so we've got a sky and a sea. That's about all we've got right now. And that took us, what, 5 minutes? Not very long. Okay, let's do that. And I'm going to wipe my brush. And let's even up that ocean a little bit. Don't go crazy and try and make a super straight line because you know nature isn't that straight. It's wobbly. So, you know, there could be waves and whatnot going on out there. So don't go crazy if you don't have an exactly flat straight line. Okay, let's put out some more titanium white. I always run out of it. Let's put some more out here. Wipe my brush. Just get that main color off of it, but don't put it in the water. Do yourself a favor. Don't put it in the water. Okay, now I'm working with the Princeton brush, which you have in, I'm going to tap it so you've got it highlighted in your carousel. And there are other Princeton brushes in there as well. I love these Princeton brushes. They are a workhorse. They just go and go and go and go. If you take care of them, they will last you a long time. Um, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to have some land here in the foreground. And because I've got green, kind of a green on my brush, I'm just going to go back into the yellow and I'm going to just make some shape type stuff happening here. Let's have a big hill type thing here. You can see that this color is kind of transparent on top of that kind of turquoise for the water. So we want to make it a little more opaque. So grab a little of that titanium white and work that in. And you'll notice I'm painting right into the wet paint, wet into wet. That's called alla prima. And that was a very big deal for the Impressionists and the Post Impressionists. That's what they like to do. Adding in some more blue, some more of that phthalo blue. It's super strong. And let's go back and grab a little more yellow. And just let it mix right on the canvas, you know? Use those super cool brush strokes and stuff to your advantage. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to wipe this here. I'm going to actually put this one in the water because I'm finished with it. And I just saw that my fan brush that I want to use, my fan brush, has been in the water. So I'm going to have to dry it off really well. Dry that off because I don't want my fan brush to have any water on it at all when we go to do these trees. And now I'm going to pull out my number 6. I think this is my number 6. Yeah, this is my number 6 Princeton, which I believe is also in your carousel. Did I put it in there? Maybe not. Okay, well, it's the same brand. It's the Princeton brand. They're great brushes, trust me on that. They're really good brushes. So, we're painting like the Fauves, and the Fauves were noted for their crazy color. I mean, if there were trees, they would paint the trees purple and so on. So we're going to go right along with that. I'm into the phthalo blue here. I'm going to pull it over here. I'm going to grab some Quin magenta. We're going to have purple trees. And I don't know, are there purple trees? I don't know, but my trees are purple. So, and since I'm the artist, I can do anything I want. I have all the power. So here we go. Here's a nice purple. I just used the phthalo blue, the Quin magenta, and a little bit of titanium white. And I've got my number 6. Number 6 Princeton Aqua Elite. Trust me, you guys get these brushes, you will definitely thank me. They are great brushes. Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom and pull up. So I'm going to start here, and this paint is wet, so it might blend a little bit, but I don't really care. So I'm going to start here and pull up. And as I go, I'm just kind of rolling my brush like that. There's my first tree trunk. Let's have another one over here, maybe a little bit shorter. Flesh out that tree trunk. That one got a little wobbly. And when you get down to the bottom here, make sure they look like they could stand up, just flare out that bottom there a little bit. Okay. And let's have a really small one over here. So it looks like I'm almost out of purple, but let's see if we can make it work. Okay. I'm going to pull up right here. I'm going to just break the horizon line. You never want to just stop at the horizon line. It's not a good idea. And give that a little bit more oomph there. Oops. Okay. So now comes the fun part. And you know what? I don't know if I can show you this on the side view on Amazon. I can on the YouTube channel. I can show you on the side view how this great fan brush works. Maybe I can tip the canvas like that. That's what I'll do. Okay. So we want some really cool foliage for our trees. And what color should it be? I think it should be pink. I really do. So we're going to start with Quin magenta. Tap it off. Don't get carried away with this fan brush. Less is more with the fan brush. Okay, get into that little bit of titanium white. Let's go back to the Quin magenta. I think I got a little bit too light there. Let's start again. Let's go back to the Quin magenta. Start dark. And let's see how that works. So I'm just going to tap. Just tap. Okay? Tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to hold the canvas to the side so you can see what I'm doing. See that? I'm just tapping. really lightly. Just don't get carried away, okay? It's easy to do because it's such a fun brush to work with. It's like you just start tapping all over the place. Okay, so I like to put them out into the sky there. Now, these are the kind of colors that Matisse would paint with. I mean, if it's good enough for Matisse, it's good enough for me. So I'm just going to keep tapping here, building that up. Less is more. I keep telling myself that. This guy over here, let's have a few like so. Not too much. He's like a little baby tree. Okay, maybe a little bit more over here, a little bit darker down here, down at the bottom. All right, now let's go. I've got that magenta on my brush. Let's go right into the titanium white. Going to make a light pink, come back on top of this. And again, I'm going to show it to you on the side. See how I'm just barely tapping? Just barely tapping. And make sure you leave a lot of air that you can see the sky behind that tree. Because, and I say this every time I paint trees or I teach trees, trees are not solid objects. So there's air back there. You can see through to the sky. And you know that if you go outside and look at a tree, obviously, you can see that, right? Okay, we just keep building these guys up a little bit. I'm gonna get a little bit darker here for the bottom. I missed that. You want it darker at the bottom, generally speaking. Okay. Alrighty. Let's have a little bit more of that light, really light over here. So you get the idea. You can really play with these trees. You can have a real good time with those. All right, I'm going to wipe my brush. And this is the Zim fan brush that's in your carousel for sure. And let's make sure my phone didn't die. Okay. All right, the Zim fan brush. These are great brushes. They're really sturdy and they work hard. And you can clean them and they'll last a long time. All right, so there's my trees. Wipe my brush. Now we've got this landform down here. Let's dress it up a little bit. And I think, let's see if I can get away without washing my fan brush. I really hate to put my brushes in the water because if you bring water back to this, oh, it makes a huge mess. So let's see if I can just get this clean enough to do the job. I think we're good. Okay. What I'm looking for is a yellow here. So we'll see if I can get a nice yellow. Looks like I can. Just tap it off. Don't go too heavy. And let's just put a little yellow down here. And this is why it's so important to do that underpainting in your when you're doing your fan brush, because if I put this down on blank canvas, it would look horrible. It'd be just like vacant space. So it's really important to do that underpainting. Make sure you break the line of your underpainting. Make sure you come over the top of that. Okay, we got a little yellow going there. Let's pick up a tiny bit of that phthalo blue, get a bit darker green. Tap that down a little bit darker so it has enough contrast. There we go. Just want enough contrast to make it work. A little bit more. And Bob Ross uses a fan brush too. So if Bob Ross does it, it's okay. He's my hero. All right. All right, now finally for the final little touches, I'm hopefully going to be able to get this green off without washing my fan brush. Get most of it off. And then let's put just a little tiny bit of pink here to give it a little hint. A little hint, like maybe some flowers are there. Just be really careful when you're mixing those colors on a wet brush that has another color on it. Just be kind of delicate because you could marry those two colors together and it could get a little muddy. Okay, so here we go. Gonna just hit these little pinks right on top there. Very sparse. Don't need much. Little sparse guys. This is something like what Monet might do. You can see some of his paintings have the little bit of red poppies. Very similar kind of thing. Okay, finally, let's do one more layer and just make it pretty light. So it sits right on top. Titanium white. There we go. Let's go a little bit lighter. There we go. Just a few little sprinkles here and there. Okay, well, it's looking pretty good. And how long did that take us? 25 minutes. Not bad, not too shabby. All right, so there you go. Take a look at those things that are in your carousel. Also, I want to just talk to you a little bit. I'm going to come out just a tiny bit about this super cool um, silicone pad. I'm going to move this out of the way. So this guy right here is so simple to clean. And I'm going to highlight it. Do I have it highlighted? Let's see. There we go. The thick silicone pad. I'm just going to wipe my paint. And if you've used up all your paint, then you don't have anything left on there to wipe up. But see, I've got some dried paint. So I'm going to put a little bit of water down with one of my brushes. It's so simple. These things clean up so easily. Take a palette knife and scrape everything off, and everything comes off really easily. Look at that. Super easy. Grab a paper towel and clean that. And just grab a paper towel and wipe it up. And anything that's still stuck that maybe didn't come up, or some of these paints, some of these paint colors, these pigments are really strong and they tend to stain. Get a little bit of hand sanitizer and a green scrubby and scrub it. And look at that. Everything comes up. Every single thing. How about that? Could that be any easier? I don't think it could be. So just clean it up, wipe it with a paper towel, and you are ready to go again. And they're really reusable over and over and over again. I love these things. Okay, that is my Amazon Live. I have been gone for a long time, but I hope you liked that. I'm going to be back to do more of these, and we'll be doing more with painting. That's my main thing. And I'll show you all kinds of cool things you can do with acrylic paint in about 20 minutes. It doesn't take very long. Okay? Have a great day. And remember what I always say, keep painting.